Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 9th of November. Let's get cracking, got lots to go through as quick as I can here then. So starting off, had some Fed speakers through the down session there, mainly still playing down inflation and discussing that rate increases will not happen till the end of tapering. There's nothing new there, it's just same old going down, but it's probably re-emphasizing the thoughts behind the Fed members. So there we are. They're doing their best to kick the can down the street. Okay, Fitch have downgraded another company that's a property company, Chinese property company. Kaizen already been kicking along and being kicked in anyway for lowest grade of debt, basically junk, but they're continuing to do this. So and just looking at worldwide sort of thing, the other thing I noticed this morning, Japan's SoftBank was hit for 54 billion due to the Chinese tightening of tech companies. So quite a few things happening out there. Evergrande, the other company that's hitting the headlines a little bit more, it sort of goes very quiet for a while and comes back. That's sell of tech holding is to raise more cash. They are trying to sell off everything. I've heard their planes are being sold. Everything they can do to raise money is happening. So there we are. It's all happening. So let's have a look at the outlook for today. In today's outlook, let's just have a look at the calendar first. We've got, we haven't had that yet. We've got the economic sentiment coming out for Europe at 10 o'clock. People tend to look more at the German data here. Obviously, it's highlighted there, but regardless, it never really moves the market massively. We got President Lagarde speaking due to deliver opening marks at the ECB conference forum on banking supervision, but I don't expect too much to be said about rates, etc. But we do have a number of other speakers here. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaking later on, opening remarks, online conference, and diversity, inclusion in economics. Oh, that's going to be such a good one. Can't miss that. Anyway, there are speakers. There's always risk coming with speakers. Central banks and inequality. Okay, maybe just not touching or being asked about rates, etc. So I think we'll probably stay away mostly from them, but we do have the Bank of Canada governor speaking as well, closing remarks at the conference. Okay, so I don't think we'll see too much individual stuff coming from them, but be aware that they're out there, and a lot of them later on in the evening anyway for us. Right. That's that. Before I go on any further, I've been looking at yields. Yields are really being quite an important factor to play with the strength of the dollar, and I just thought, well, let's just look at it over 3 months. You just see how much it's come off over the last week, and the yields are down, and no surprise, we're seeing a little bit of turn in some of the markets here. Starting off looking, actually I'm going to look, I don't look at the dollar index too much, but I'm only looking at dollar index because it was a little bit cleaner than what I was looking at on the euro. It is effectively, if I was to switch this round and just reset the scale upside down here, if we can just invert the scale for a minute, well, there you go, there's the euro, pretty much. Okay, the colors are different, but you can see how similar it is to the euro. Anyway, an inverted euro, because the euro is such a large chunk of it. More importantly, anyway, what I was wanting to look at was this area around this movement here. There's a sort of it was a signs of a sort of, like, to me it's a bear flag here, bull flag on the euro, but not so clean. And we saw the breakdown yesterday afternoon, and off it's gone since then, and it's broken a couple of things. It's given us a lower high. It's quite a switch back here in a sense. It's got potential for the dollar index to come off some more. For now, not necessarily, don't expect a big beating here, but what I'm saying is just be aware that there's the potential. Now, if we go back to the euro, there are reasons why I'm sort of a little bit suspicious. Well, I say suspicious, that's not the word. A bit wary of the move at the moment. Is there you go? The euro's run into its 4-hourly 200 at this moment now. Maybe not on every single chart out there, but pretty much I should imagine it's hit the 200 or be right close to it. Having a reaction at the moment, and it's this reaction that I'm watching a break above that, then start seeing a bigger correction coming through on the euro. We've got the high lows, higher highs, and it's still for me maybe bearing on the bullish side. We'll see what happens post 8 o'clock here. Often happens quite quickly, but look, as you see on the smaller time frame, looking quite bullish. Let's move across to the pound then. Pound, a similar thing. I pointed this out yesterday, the double bottom there. Yesterday we saw the bounce coming from that a little bit more. It's a little bit more chunky. Put this outside bar, bullish bar, that's sort of seen a continuation, and it's again we got some sort of element of doubt here. You'll just come down, you'll see a bit of divergence running across those highs for now, and may just see a bigger correction, daily pivots underneath. So we'll see how it pans out this morning, but it just went yesterday late morning there, pushed up and went. Don't be surprised if it comes back a little bit, then pushes up later. Just we seem to see a lot more movement in the afternoons at the moment. Dolly Yen. This one I just wanted to go through a little bit more detail. I've been quite bearish on the yen, but I'm seeing cracks in the whole thing. Technically, look, we've got a crack there, but before I go on to the technicals, just look, I just looked at the sentiment from the commitment of traders. This is the big traders. Just looking at what was happening, this is the second week we've seen the shorts reducing and the longs increasing. Quite sizable percentage of movement kicking through there. And if I just come down, you can just see this is the net positions, what's actually being held here, and you can see net positions. We've seen just a bit of a turn going on. A couple of weeks doesn't mean say it's all over for the yen isn't going to continue on its weakening cycle, but well, it may have a bit more of a pullback where it's sitting. We're just seeing the big money just reacting over the last couple of weeks. Long positions being built up here, and you see the short positions sold off. So we're seeing both longs and shorts coming through here. So I just wanted to run that through, and you can see it technically here. It's following through. So the big money is sort of changing its view a little bit here. Maybe we've seen, if we come back here on the monthly, I keep pointing this out, but you'll see there we go. It ran into that key resistance as well. So we got quite a bit to suggest. Well, it could be a bit more downside, and at the moment I was just looking, it's the strongest currency out there this morning, pushing through, but it's through its 200. So of the pairs there, lower highs, lower lows all the way through here. May have a bit of a steady on here. It's run into its S2. It's had quite a range, and again we may see corrections come through post 8 o'clock, but often do. Right, okay, just spent a little bit more time there, only because it's a change of what we're seeing, and we're seeing it through the markets as a whole. Some of these majors, seeing early signs of it. We're seeing a bit more of a clearer sign of it on the yen there. On the Aussie here, again, just a very early sign of maybe a bit of a swing change. If we see a break above the daily pivot there, the weekly pivot, if we see it running above 74.32, then it becomes a bit more bullish for me. It's slowing down at the moment, but again, we're in this sort of 8 o'clock phase. Maybe this afternoon if it starts pushing up, that might be one to look at as well. On the more bullish side, Canadian dollar behind the curve a little bit here, but still rolling over a little. This is remember, this is US dollar, Canadian dollar, so we want this for the Canadian dollar to be showing strength. We want to be seeing it coming off there, and it is just showing the very early signs. The money wasn't particularly actually, big money was actually running into the Canadian dollar still, beg your pardon, which is a little bit surprising when that's running in and yet the Canadian dollar still pushing up. But that just shows you that the COT report isn't a timing tool, but it does give me a view of where that money's going. Anyway, So I would put, if it starts dropping again here, I'm looking at I've got a trend line partially drawn here, but if it starts breaking down through the 34, etc. here, through the weekly pivot, that would look bearish again. Right, that's all I'm going to do on currencies there for now. Let's have a quick look at gold. Now, with those yields coming down, gold should be pushing up, and there it is. It's we're getting into the sort of cycle with gold. Of course, it's getting towards Christmas. There's demand for gold on that basis, so the demand starts picking up. You've got lots of things coming into play here at the same time. Now the Fed's really kicked the can down the street. We're seeing this sort of a benefit going towards gold at the moment, and it's running up there. It's already, if I come out of a stage into this weekly, it's pretty close to those prior highs at 1835. We could see those broken even the way this is running at the moment. So unusually, I say unusually, I was quite bullish when it started breaking up here, but back into the more bullish zone, and it's looking bullish overall. But be careful, big stops are needed if you day trade or trying to trade it. Day trading isn't necessarily the best thing in the world on gold. I know people like to do it, but they lose their money. Oil yesterday managed a continuation to the upside. I was, as I said before, I was considering whether the short side would be the right way to go, but on this, bit of a mixed one actually yesterday. Seeing the sell-off in the afternoon there, but it bounced back. Just come through here, but you can see how choppy the whole situation is. I actually looked at it, and it ran quite early at 12 o'clock to the downside. Never really gave me anything to look for on the upside, and I just left it alone. Not sure where it is on its run at the moment, and if in doubt, leave it alone. Stay out. Leave it alone. So it does look like there's potential on the dailies here further upside, but we'll see how it runs. Fundamentally, I know it's flawed. Okay, I wouldn't try it. Look, someone's asking me if the yield's coming down, would you start investing in the bond market? Be careful how many markets you're trying to get into. Stay in a sort of have a market you trade, maybe one, maybe two, and stick with them. I wouldn't try and get into everything and try and time things or whatever else. But you start becoming good at one thing or two things, and then start building up. Some traders are going out there far too wide in terms of what they're looking for. They want to be in stocks here and this here and that there, and at the end of the day, they get so thin in terms of their knowledge on what they're looking at. It's just tread carefully. And stick with a couple of things. I'm showing these markets because I get asked about these markets. I don't trade them all. I trade currencies predominantly, and there you go, predominantly, and sometimes the S&Ps if I see good opportunities. But I'm not in all these markets personally. Right, sorry. Okay, switching markets now. Gonna quickly, because I'm very aware of my daughter's going to be wanting to go to school soon. Looking at the indices then, and what we're seeing here, no surprise, as I said yesterday. Let's just change that from crypto to indices for a minute, because I know you cryptos want to see how good Bitcoin's doing at the moment. Anyway, as suspected, this is still the CSI 300 still dancing around a little bit here, looking quite softish. I still expect more downside personally. Technically, it still looks bearish. I'm no surprise to see a Nikkei down with SoftBank and etc. as it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a continuation of this gap sort of feel at the moment. We are seeing these Asian banks coming off. Looking around towards the European banks, indices even. Same banks and indices, getting them all mixed up. FTSE ended up on a little down day yesterday. It's struggling a little bit here. Lots of shenanigans going on with the US over the weekend with Tesla. Not sure that Musk should be in control of a company as he is when he's talking down his own stock, basically. I'm surprised more action doesn't get taken. It's absolutely crazy for those investors that are sort of long on his stock, and all of a sudden he's suggesting he might sell 5%. Major disgrace. Anyway, DAX hanging up yesterday, still pushing up. Just shows you how fickle some of these markets can be at times, I should say. But it's what happens. And the CAC, French market, coming off a little bit as well. So, I mean, these have had a good run. No surprise to see them coming off a little bit. The S&Ps yesterday gapped down a little bit, pushed back up, closed that gap on the futures as they opened after the weekend. Looking a little bit negative at the moment, a little uncertainty here. We did see quite some big movements kicking through, which aren't really showing in the bullishness of things. Is the equity market going to start sloping over now? We're seeing some weakness. Well, possibly a little bit, but I wouldn't bet the house on it. I just think any sort of retracements again may give opportunities for further new highs. Right, that's pretty much it. Let's just quickly look before I get in real trouble and be late for school. Bitcoin, not me late for school. Bitcoin yesterday shoved up new all-time highs on Bitcoin there. Ethereum following suit. Ethereum I've liked for a long time. It's just so much nicer in terms of its price action than some of these. It's not so, I don't know, it's just running really well. And Ripple, again, having done well yesterday, just selling off this morning. So you will get this profit taking. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm still bullish on these cryptos. They still look quite bullish, but just be careful of snapbacks when you get such surges. Have a good week, a good day. I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.